Hey, young America, we need to talk. You may think this is uncool, you may even think it is bogus, but I want to tell you about something that has everyone buzzing. Something that concerns mature boys and girls just like you. Something called grass. Not that grass. I'm talking about marijuana. You may have heard of it. You may have seen someone smoking it, like those burnout bohemians or that crazy-eyed custodian at your school. You may have taken a toke or two. But do you know the whole story? Do you know the blunt truth? The smoke from this plant causes a brief state of euphoria, immediately followed by permanent insanity. Users are prone to unpredictable behavior, including junk food binges, joyride, and a sudden urge to wear sunglasses at night.
Marijuana should be made legal now!
Plus, they look flat out crazy. You there! Stop laughing. Laughing is a symptom caused by blowing pot. Take a good look at yourself. Are you addicted? Are your eyes half shut and bloodshot? Do you recognize that person in the mirror? Then blame it all on marijuana. Soon, you'll be taking all sorts of measures to get your fix. People will start calling you names like pothead or smoky McBongwater. Losing all motivation, it's likely that you will drop out of school, take a sudden liking to sitar music, and maybe even get felt up by a copper.
This is the brain activity of a normal 14-year-old. This is the brain activity of a 14-year-old after smoking marijuana. If you use pot, you're not using your brain.
1974, the Heath-Tulin study. Ronald Reagan announces, the most reliable scientific sources say permanent brain damage is one of the inevitable results of the use of marijuana. Monkeys pumped full of marijuana, apparently 30 joints a day, had begun to atrophy and die after 90 days. Brain damage was determined after counting the dead brain cells of both monkeys who had been subjected to the marijuana and ones who had not. This study became the foundation of the government, and other special interest groups claim that marijuana kills brain cells. Here's what they didn't tell you. After 6 years of requests, how the study was conducted was finally revealed. Instead of administering 30 joints a day for 1 year, Dr. Heath used a method of pumping 63 Colombian-strength joints through a gas mask within 5 minutes over 3 months.
They suffocated the monkeys. What they did is they put these gas masks basically on their face and they pumped pot into it, but without additional oxygen. So after X amount of time, the brain shut down. Well, if you suffocate, the first thing that's going to happen is your brain cells are going to die with lack of oxygen. So what they did is they suffocated the monkey, showed all these dead brain cells, and then went on to associate it by saying that cannabis use causes your brain cells to die. And how many people, not knowing the origin of the study, have gone on to quote it and re-quote it. And now people believe it.
Studies since have shown no signs of any brain cell damage.
To me, weed was just evil for me. I'm like, I don't know how anybody could smoke that shit. That shit melts your brain. Once a year, I would get talked into smoking weed, and I'd get paranoid, freaked out. I had this girl come over, thought I was gonna get laid, smoke some weed only because she had the joint and she offered it, and I didn't want to seem like a pussy. I became like this paranoid mute. An hour later, she gets up and just leaves, and I never see her ever again. I'm like, I hate weed so much. That shit should be outlawed. And anybody that was a stoner in my band, anytime they messed up, I always blamed them. Like, see, stop smoking that fucking weed, man. You just smoke too much weed, bro. Let's get real. I was like very anti-weed. There's this girl at the strip club that was the most beautiful girl I've ever seen up to that point. Everyone's talking about her. She's being transferred from the other strip club to this strip club. I'm like, oh shit, super hot. We hooked up. I fell in love, and she pulls out a joint. Some customer at work gave her this joint. She goes, smoke this weed with me. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to smoke weed. That shit, I hate that shit. That shit makes me crazy. She said, please, please smoke. I don't want to smoke. I'm like, are you smoking? I ain't smoking that shit. And then she finally convinced me. I'm like, fuck, okay, I'll smoke some weed. So I smoked it with her, and we were just laughing our asses off. Had a great time. And the next morning, I woke up and I'm like, how come I didn't get paranoid? And then I finally realized, it's not the weed doesn't make you feel paranoid. Weed doesn't make you feel good. It makes you feel more of what you already feel. It's a mood enhancer.
I thought
All
the same
your
thing.
senses.
You know, I didn't start smoking pot until about 5 years ago. I thought pot made you stupid. You know, I bought into it just as much as anybody did. I realized when I was like 30 years old that I was tricked. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. People say, well, you can abuse marijuana. Well, shit, you can abuse cheeseburgers too. You know, you don't go around closing Burger King because you can abuse something. I can take a fucking fork and jam it in my eyeballs. That mean forks should be illegal? You know, I could jump off a bridge. Should we outlaw bridges? Let's nerf the world. Spokesmen for giant special interest groups, whether those special interest groups be law enforcement, or whether they're private prisons, or whether they're pharmaceutical companies, or whether they're oil companies. We have spokesmen for gigantic corporations that are trying to calm us and get us to press the right button in the voting booth. It's real simple. You put your loafers on, you put your black socks on, you get in your car, you have your briefcase, you say hi to your neighbors, he mows his lawn just like you do, and things keep moving along in the same direction they always have been. That's why marijuana laws exist. If people do drugs and they commit crimes around those drugs, they should in fact be punished. But you can't punish someone for something that hurts no one. In 10,000 years of known use of marijuana, there's never been a single death attributed to marijuana. There's 400,000 deaths in America alone every year that are directly attributed to tobacco. How many people in this country alone are addicted to antidepressants? How many people who are on antidepressants really have imbalances, and how many of them just got off of a bad relationship and they're depressed? The people that have personality problems and the people that are going to be lazy and going to lose their job, they're going to lose their job anyway. They're not losing their job because of marijuana. That's just a lie. Great quote that life is a tragedy to those who feel and a comedy to those who think. And if you are a thinker and you look at the marijuana situation and you're not laughing, you're fucking dumb. It's a weird thing that you do when you make nature against the law. There's a movement in this country, and some people have more faith in it than I do. Maybe from hosting Fear Factor all those years, I've lost my faith in human beings. And
the one thing in that book that I saw that could not be argued with was an article that came out in 1938 edition of Popular Mechanics magazine, February edition, if anybody wants to go check it out, that said a new billion-dollar crop for the farmers. Most people that I talked to had no idea, just like me, that hemp and marijuana was the same thing. We were ignorant of that fact. Also, we were ignorant of the fact that hemp could be used as food. It can be used as clothing. The first Levi's in this country were made from hemp. The first Bibles were printed on hemp paper. The Declaration of Independence, the first 2 copies of this was printed on hemp paper. People don't know that. The leading agricultural crop there in 1937 was hemp. When they took that away from the farmers, it would be like taking wheat away from Kansas, cotton away from Texas. It's just devastating what has happened to the farmers in that area since their leading agricultural crop, which, as we've all seen, is a very beneficial, and not only beneficial, necessary plant that the earth needs. If it wasn't supposed to be there, the big guy wouldn't put it there. You know, he didn't make no mistakes. So he put hemp here for a reason. One of the reasons, I believe, is that the root is like 10 to 12 inches long, which literally holds the planet together. Now, what happens when you eradicate a plant from the planet? If you check history, every civilization that has gone under since the beginning of time has gone under because of soil erosion and the inability of the people to be able to feed themselves. Now, is that a serious problem today? Look at Bangladesh.
Yeah, really,
look at the places on the planet where hemp has been made illegal to grow. In the state of Iowa, that state in the last 100 years has lost over 50% of its topsoil.
Wow.
So we're talking about farming areas that are going down the drain because of some some very well-planned conspiracy to take the hemp plant off the planet to keep it from being competition to the other products that it would be competition to. Your petrochemicals, your paper, all the textiles. Now, business is business, as they say, and anything is fair in love and war.
That's a good one, though.
Homo. Come on, dude. Just take one hit. Don't you want to be cool? Hey, man. What are you doing? I'm so high! Nothing can hurt me! No!
Marijuana kills.